Kamala Harris recently spoke to reporters after a flight, something that MAGA swears up and down that she's scared to do, or Trump says she doesn't have the intelligence to do. So I figured we'd look over just a few of these clips to one, debunk their claims, and two, see what kind of answers she was offering.
President, CBS News has a new poll, shows that you're 3 points up nationally. What's your response to this? Do you still consider yourself the underdog here?
I very much consider us the underdog. We have a lot of work to do to earn the vote of the American people. That's why we're on this bus tour today, and we're going to be traveling this country as we've been and talking with folks, listening to folks, and hopefully earning their votes over the next 79 days.
This is the best outlook that you can have, and I'm glad there's no signs of her being ready to take her foot off the gas. This is exactly what Hillary did in 2016, and it resulted in a race where she might have won the popular vote, but she lost the Electoral College. The Electoral College is crafted in a way that any close election will go to Republicans. Democrats inherently have a larger hill to climb in this regard, so she is up in the polls, and that is a huge momentum turnaround from where we were with Biden. It makes a Democratic win actually possible and seem more feasible to voters, which will mobilize them to vote even more, but it doesn't seal the deal, not until we all go out and vote.
Can you explain how you're going to pay for those, and can you give us a sense of what other policies you want to unveil going forward?
Sure. Well, I mean, you just look at it in terms of what we are talking about, for example, around children and the child tax credit and extending the EITC. It's at $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. The return on that investment in terms of what that will do and what it will pay for will be tremendous. We've seen it when we did it in the first year of our administration. We reduced child poverty by over 50%. So that's a lot of the work. And then what we're doing in terms of the tax credits, we know that there's a great return on that investment. And when we increase home ownership in America, what that means in terms of increasing the tax base, not to mention property tax base, what that does to fund schools, again, return on investment. I think it's a mistake for any person who talks about public policy to not critically evaluate how you measure the return on investment. When you are strengthening neighborhoods, strengthening communities, and in particular the economy of those communities, and investing in a broad-based economy, everybody benefits, and it pays for itself in that way.
This is exactly right. It's actually the perfect answer. You have to look at it through liabilities and assets. It's these one-time payments that end up paying back massively over time. And the funniest part of this is that Republicans know this. They just won't critically engage with anything that Trump disagrees with. We know this because they all screamed how cutting corporate taxes, something that massively reduces our revenue, or paying billions for a wall, something that will increase taxes, how these things would fund themselves and pay it back multiple times over in the future. But when it comes to things that directly help communities, it's just communism, which makes them look like lunatics. I hope that they keep up these lines and these attacks until the election, truly. But property taxes fund schools. Public schools have a funding problem. Widening the property tax base alleviates the school funding issue. Those with educations economically perform better throughout their life, leading to less poverty, thus more taxes and more downstream benefits. It's pretty easy to see.
I think Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is ready to agree to a ceasefire deal.
I will not speak for him, but I will tell you that these conversations are ongoing and we are not giving up, and we are going to continue to work very hard on this. We got to get a ceasefire, and we got to get those hostages out.
I'm glad she's staying committed to the ceasefire talks. It's been announced that Netanyahu has now accepted a bridging deal to work towards a ceasefire, which is a huge first step. It doesn't, again, seal the deal, but it brings us a lot closer than we have been, especially recently. I hope as President Kamala is more willing to pressure the international community to be against this genocide and allows the UN to do the job it was created, more so than Biden has ever been in his presidency, which we will have to wait and see. But her answers and her position gives a stark contrast from Trump, who tells Israel to finish the job, uses Palestinian as a slur, and is in the pocket of Miriam Adelson, one of the biggest pro-Israel lobbyists who wants America to support Israel unconditionally in their goal to erase Palestinian life. It's pretty simple. With Harris, we get hope. With Trump, we get hate. I think the choice is an easy one to make.